Great day, great day. Now, I am a Trekkie to my heart, and I'm still salty about Starfleet Academy. I am. And I don't usually review Strange New Worlds because, again, it's just fun to me. So I see no real point in rehashing it. But episode 5, level 5 transporter accident. Okay, I had to come and do something about that. I had to say something about that because first and foremost, I'm having a good time. Now, I don't understand folks who hate watch shows or watch shows that they hate to let everybody know that they hate them. So, I've never really understood people's feelings about this particular show. This is a prequel to the original series. And y'all know the original series was done all the way back in the 60s, before I was born. Because I caught the original series as reruns. So I'm just, not understanding the hate people have for this series. I enjoy all of it. I love it. It's fun. And you want to know the best part of this show for me? And it is not Pike's hair. Because Pike's hair has his own fan club. Because I'm just amazed. I was like, how do you keep your hair like that? But no, let me show you the reason why I really like this show. Spec, as we call him. Ethan Peck. I hope that's his name. Ethan Peck. Love him. I love him as Spock. I love the sound of his voice. He has the looks, okay? Leonard Nimoy, I think, was very, very happy with the people who have portrayed Spock in the years since he portrayed Spock. Because there was Zachary Quinto and Ethan Peck. So, yeah. Loved him. Loved him even when he was have that long-haired hippie moment in Star Trek Discovery. Okay? And before everybody hated the fact that Captain Burnham is connected to Spock as his adopted sister. So yeah. I'm loving this. And this particular episode features Spock in a big way. Everybody's still on edge since the Griffin incident in episode 3, I want to say. Yeah, episode 3. So everybody is still on edge. Everybody is still head up. And poor Spock can't seem to get his mojo back. So while he's dealing with Scotty, and Scotty wanting to break the longest transporter distance record, he's also, talking to T'Pring because they're heading towards Vulcan. So he's asking T'Pring, well, honey, since you was kind of part of the issues I was having on the Griffith, not directly, but it used you as a part of my issues, as a part of my fears, why don't you come on and let's talk logic? And of course, initially, T'Pring is not having it because I was like, we broke up. Why do you want to talk to me now? So, after a little talking, and he convinces her to please, come. You don't have to go on Vulcan. Please come on the Enterprise and help me out. Help a brother out. I promise. It'll be worth it. And you know what? She says she would on one condition. No shenaniganery, no hijinks on the Enterprise. Because Vulcans hate chaos. And poor Spock, he's like, oh, I'll do my best. Because he knew good and darn well he could not promise that. Because he must have known in the back of his mind that, oh my God, there's going to be shenaniganery the minute you set foot on here. on this ship. And of course, there was. So, Scotty is using this puppet, okay, to transport it. I'm assuming to another ship where the current record holder of the longest transported distance is on. So he's going to transport this puppet to the ship to break that record and scare the crap out of the engineer who's there, who's, I guess, a rival at the academy. So yeah. Spock is off the ship, of course, at this time, because after he talks to Scotty and talks to T'Pring, he decides to go off the ship for whatever reason. He's in a shuttle outside of the Enterprise. I guess they're also investigating pirate activity in this sector. So he is off the ship when he notices the Enterprise just blinks, just transports away, out of existence. Which, of course, is the same time that Scotty transports that puppet. However, the transporter malfunctions. So, everybody on the Enterprise, including T'Pring, and the Enterprise itself, blinks out of existence for a minute. And Spock is horrified in the shuttle, like, what the hell is going on? What? Enterprise comes back, but something's a little different. So Spock comes back onto the Enterprise, and this is what he finds. Everybody on the Enterprise has been turned into a puppet, including T'Pring. Oh my gosh. This is too much fun. So now, T'Pring finds herself in the midst of the very shenaniganery, chaos that she'd hoped to avoid. Ooh-wee. Poor thing. Oh, poor baby. He is not happy because he is the only person on the ship who is not a puppet. And of course, since everybody else is a puppet, nobody can do their jobs. So poor Spock is running all over the Enterprise like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to help everybody, everywhere, all at once. Oh, poor thing. And I'm sitting here listening, watching, because I'm currently watching this, but I have it on pause. I'm like, why can't anybody switch to voice commands? Since your hands are puppified and you can't touch anything and it doesn't recognize you. And Pike also got a new chair that responds to hand commands. And he can't use his new chair because he's a puppet. But again, I'm having a good time so far. And just watching Spock trying to keep the ship together. And he even had Admiral April come in and go, okay, we can send somebody to help y'all, but it's going to be 2 days. And try not to let anybody know y'all puppets, okay? Poor Spock. I feel so bad for him. And then T'Pring is like, I thought I told you I didn't want no chaos and no shenaniganery. And Spock is like, you cannot possibly blame me for this. But she does. So now it's just a matter of Spock going all over the place, trying to hold things together until Scotty figures out a way to depuppify them. Or something. Part 2. So, of course, in the midst of everyone on the ship demanding Spock's attention, since he's the only one who could do anything, he has a panic attack. T'Pring slaps him. Although I can't imagine that a puppet slap would hurt as much as a human slap, but Spock rolls with it. Or I guess he's just as surprised that she visited violence upon him. And snaps him out of it. He's like freaking out. In the human vernacular. So she says, listen, you can't help everybody. All right? You're only one person. So you're going to have to do your best to help whoever you can help at the time. And he was like, thank you. And of course, she slaps him again because, of course, gratitude is irrelevant. And I really honestly think that she's just still a little pissed off at being a puppet. So yeah, everybody was saying that they don't treat Vulcans right this time. But I dare say that this is how Vulcans treat humans. And especially how they treat Spock as being a bi-Vulcan. A biracial Vulcan. Anyway. Because they don't like humans. They can't stand them. So yes, they're going to be as rude as possible to humans. Especially that cadet. I wonder if we're going to see that cadet. We probably won't see her in this episode. But that Vulcan cadet who's rude as fuck. Yeah. That's how Vulcans treat humans. And if the fact that everybody is demanding Spock's attention on the bridge isn't bad enough, an Orion pirate finds them. And of course, scanning the ship and going, wait, there's only one life sign on this ship. Let's see what's up. So, of course, Pike, freaking out, is like, all right, we can answer comms, but you can only answer them audio only. Now, keep that in mind. Why they can't run the ship audio only, I'll never know. But Pike, kind of nice nasty, threatens the Orion pirate to leave them alone. We're not bothering you, don't bother us. Leave us alone, ho! So, of course, they're confused. These two. They're confused because they're like, okay, but there's only one life sign on here, and we hear you. You say you have a full complement of crew, but then we only detect one person. So what the fuck's going on over there? We want to know what's going on over there. So Pike was like, listen, you come anywhere closer, we're going to fire on you. Knowing good and darn well it's going to take Spock a minute to fire up the photons to really scare them off. But they decided to back off. They're like, okay. All right. So, of course, everybody exhales. And then Pike makes the mistake of telling Uhura to close the channel. Because earlier she said that the panel responds to her touch sometimes. And you want to know, now is the time it responds. And of course, boop! The visuals come on. So now the Orions can see that everyone, except for Spock, is a puppet. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. So, now everybody's like, okay, we're screwed. Nice. So, of course, the Orions open fire when they notice that, oh, wait, your Vulcan is the one scuttering about the ship. Are you a puppet? So, basically, I guess the universal translator has Orions have a word for puppet in their language. So T'Pring is a real one. Because in this scene, she grabs a bunch of phasers to try to help Spock. Because she knows that he's running to and fro. He just went into engineering to help Scotty and Pelia. Pelia is so cute as a puppet, I swear. I wonder if the actors got to keep their puppets. Because this was filmed quite a while ago. So now, The Orions have boarded the Enterprise. So now, the fun starts. Despite the phaser, they overwhelm Spock, and he's now a prisoner. And now, they're doing the usual threats. I'm eating barbecue potato chips, if you must know. So, it's give us the control codes for the Enterprise or die. And Spock is like, this is still the greatest crew in Starfleet, even though they're puppets. They won't let you take this ship easily. Unfortunately, the Orions take the ship pretty damn easily. Because despite the fact that this crew is the handiest and the deadliest crew ever, they're still puppets. The Orions manhandle them really easily. So while Pike is mounting up a rescue mission of Spock so that Spock can rescue everybody else, Spock here, with his Orion captor, is having a nice, interesting conversation. And he was like, oh, women aren't in charge in your society? And Spock is like, not really. And it also turns out that this particular Orion has a therapist bent, because he figures out real quickly that Spock is stressed as hell. And of course, Spock is like, well, duh, my ship has been taken captive and I'm being held prisoner. And the dude was like, no. You had other stressors even before today. So it's kind of funny that Spock is having a therapy moment while being held captive. Because the dude was like, listen, I don't do torture. Women do that real well, so I'm just a second in command. I'm just here to be told what to do. I wasn't going to even bother you for the codes to the chair. And again, at this point, they should have been able to slide to voice command. Unless this is early enough in the series where voice command is not a thing. Because basically, you should have been able to run this ship by your voice and your captain command codes, not by touch. That's probably the only quibble I have. But I'm still having fun. So, in an effort to make Spock comply, they snatched the captain in the midst of whatever he was doing, or if he even made it out of the ready room, I'm not sure. The rest of the crew is in the ready room. So they put him in the airlock. And despite Spock saying that he's the only one who could operate the airlock, the Orion captain lady puts Captain Pike, Puppet Pike, in the airlock, pushes the button, shunts him into space. So, of course, poor Spock is traumatized. And now we don't know what exactly he's going to do. I would have wilded out on them, but Spock is not like me. But the rest of the crew in the ready room, okay, and Pelia was chopped in half by the Orion captain lady, but they sewed her back together, and she's still able to do what she wants. So she notes to the crew that if I was chopped in half and I sewed back together and I can still do what I want to do, then the captain is all right. Even though you see him go into space, he's managed to come back to the window. He's still alive. And Pelia's puppet has no shoes. So they managed to get Pike back in the ready room. I wish they'd shown us how they did it. But while he was on his sojourn in space, he realized, wait, I'm still alive. Okay? And we've been going about this whole situation the wrong way. We have been thinking as a Starfleet crew, a humanoid Starfleet crew. But we are a puppet crew. So we have to do things differently. What we usually do will not work. So, of course, let us reframe our thinking and get ourselves out of this pickle that we're in. And of course, Pelia, with her feet. Okay, hopefully they filmed a show, an episode around Lanthanites, because I want to know what they got against shoes. What they got against shoes. So, yeah. That's my diversion, my digression for this episode. So now Pike is rallying the troops to, okay, we can do things a little differently. Since we can't do what we normally do, let's try to do things that we can do. Poor T'Pring. She has had it up to her stuffed little head with all this chaos and pandemonium. So she's all like, we can't do things like this. Can we all acknowledge that this is absurd? Ah! And of course they're looking at her like, oh my God, a Vulcan having a meltdown. This is so cute. Too bad Spock can't see all of this. So as Christine directs T'Pring to sit her little padded rump down, Pike has noted that, you know what, we don't need oxygen to survive. So, dare I think that they would attempt to flush the Orions out by cutting off life support to the ship? And hopefully that Spock can hold his breath for a little while? Let's see what happens. The plan is to lean into the absurdity of the situation. I don't know. We'll see. We'll still see if they thought to, just cut off the life support. That's what I would have done. Phase 2 of the plan. T'Pring saves Spock from his Orion captor. Because they figured, okay, she told them that, oh, Pike's alive, boo. Your little flushing him out the airlock, that didn't do nothing. So, the Orion dude sets T'Pring's hand on fire. And she looks at him like, Vulcans don't feel pain. So she puts her burning hand on him and sets him on fire. Okay, see, T'Pring is a real one. Let me tell you. But hopefully they don't get back together, because they didn't get back together in the original series. So, but T'Pring's a real one. So of course Spock and T'Pring get to the bridge, and of course chaos ensues, because of course the crew got to the bridge, and with a little bit of ingenuity and whatnot, they managed to overpower the crew, the Orion crew. Since, of course, the Orion captain lady is still sitting in a chair and she can't get it to work. So she calls her second in command and is like, yo, did you get the codes yet? The fuck? But she doesn't know that he's out of commission now with a burning arm. So the crew comes in. Everybody is on 10. And the doctor, oh, I love the doctor, because the doctor just rose up. Dr. M'Benga, the very dangerous person in his human form, but even more dangerous as a puppet. And he stands up and he tilts his head. And that dude was like, oh shit. The Orion crew member knew he was in trouble. And then, of course, he has these 2 spikes in his hands. So as 2 of the other crew members grab the dude's legs, M'Benga is stabbing this dude with the 2 spikes. And of course, La'an is having a good old time. popping around, poking the other Orion crew member in the eye. Now, the Orion captain lady, she's all like, what is this? So she, of course, that poor cowering crewman, that red shirt, who was at the helm with, oh damn, her name just left me. With Erica, okay. He was hiding, cowering under there all that time. He was not in the ready room with the rest of the folks. So, Orion Captain Lady shoots him with a phaser right through. So there's a hole in his puppet body. He goes down, but then he comes back up and goes, oh wait, I'm not dead. He should be, but he's not. So hopefully they remember to fix him up before they unpuppify everybody. Hopefully. So she's all like, and then she sees Pelia and she's like, I cut you in half. How are you still running around? So this is what T'Pring and Spock run into on the bridge. And of course now Spock is having yet another panic attack. And T'Pring is like, dude, snap out of it. You cannot out-logic this. This is absurd. So lean into the absurdity. Chaos is the point. And he's like, oh, okay. So let's see what Spock does. The Captain Fastball Special. This is what Spock comes up with. And, of course, what did they do? What did he do when he got in the chair? When Spock got in the chair? He cut off life support. I was right. So, of course, Orion Captain Lady is blathering and talking on and on and on. And, of course, Spock is just sitting there. She pulls out her phaser and goes, any last words? And he's looking at her. Nah, bitch. In his eyes. Because he doesn't open his mouth. Because he cut off life support. So, of course, Puppet Pike pops up and goes, you know, he's not saying anything. He cut off life support. So you've been going on and on. You've been talking quite a bit now. So you feel yourself losing your breath? See, this is it. Because like I said, I that's what I would have done. I'd have been like, oh, okay. And of course, Vulcans can hold their breath. Because the rest of them don't need oxygen. Just Spock and the Orion Captain Lady and her crew. Let's see if she's smart enough to get her ass off the ship before she suffocates. Spoiler alert, she wasn't. So the Orion crew passes out. Okay, so it turns out, after they slapped the oxygen mask on him just in time, they done sent the Orion crew and Orion Captain Lady into the brig. And Scotty figured out how to depuppify them. But first, before they go back to their original selves, and like I said, I hope they stitched up that crew member with a hole in him. They decide to do a little spacewalk. To experience space in a way that doesn't kill them. As puppets. Like I said, I enjoyed this. This was a fun episode. I can imagine the folks, you know, gearing up on their reviews to say how much they hate it. But I enjoyed this one. 8 out of 10. Guaranteed. So, live long and prosper until the next time we come again with Trek stuff.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine.